What is up, my dudes? Time to saddle up with our young QB rankings. Today, I got my top 7 young gun QB fantasy redraft rankings. Bo Nix is 25, but he's only into his second year. So that's why it's 25 and under. Left Brock Purdy, left Trevor Lawrence out. So starting it off first with number 7, Bryce Young, currently QB 23 on Underdog Best Ball. 2024 stats, he threw for 15 touchdowns. His season was saved by dramatic improvement at the end of the season. And I'll be honest, guys, I love Bryce Young, but I just can't bring myself to draft him. That's why I have him as QB7. This was a guy that a year ago was written off, gone, basically got saved by a car accident, got a second chance. We saw what Coach Canales did with Baker Mayfield when it comes to second chances. He got his swagger back. He got his it factor back. He was throwing good. He's now a legitimate QB in the NFL. But I'll be honest, I love Bryce Young. But I can't make myself draft him yet. Okay, I need to see a little bit more. Let's look at those final 3 games. 27 fantasy points, 16 fantasy points, 36 fantasy points. I don't think it's a coincidence. It's a player finding his groove. The question is, who's brave enough to actually draft him? Not me. And I feel like I like Bryce Young as much as anyone. I'm optimistic for Bryce Young. I think he's going to be really good. I just don't know how many fantasy teams I'm going to have him on unless I end up streaming him. But he might be too good that doesn't even happen to where he's available by the time you need that quarterback. But let's look at Bryce Young's final 3 games, guys. 27 fantasy points, 16 fantasy points, and 36 fantasy points. Those were his last 3 games. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's a player finally finding his groove. The question is, though, are you brave enough to take that gamble on him in 2025? QB6, Drake May had a late season surge. Currently QB 15 on Underdog Best Ball. Limited playing time last year, but the numbers don't tell the full story, guys. May had over 18 fantasy points in 4 of his last 6 games when he finally got consistent playing time. I don't think that's a fluke, guys. I think that's a preview, all right? Now adding Stephon Diggs, I think it changes everything for this offense. Pairing Diggs with Hunter Henry, Pop Douglas, Kayshon Boutte. Is it Boutte? I don't know. Patriots got a lot of young receivers. Stephon Diggs gives him that number 1 option. Think he's going to miss some time. I thought Cardi B was out of the picture. Looks like they were working out together. Stephon Diggs, of course. So it was looking like Drake May's first mate was ready, but looks like he's still with Cardi B. Anchors away, though, for Drake May this season. I really like him at that QB 15 price, guys. I think he outperforms that. Not ready to really reach for him yet in redraft. QB 5, this is where we get a little bit of controversy, I guess you could say. I got Bo Nix, 25 years old, same age as Brock Purdy. Trevor Lawrence, 29 TDs last year. That was more than Josh Allen. That's weird. Didn't see that coming. Was shocked when I saw that he threw more touchdowns than Josh Allen. QB 9 on Underdog Best Ball. Dual threat quarterback, guys. He can improvise on the ground when the plays break down, and Sean Payton makes sure to keep him in good positions. Here's what's holding me back with Bo Nix not putting him up higher. A lot of his good fantasy performances were against really bad fantasy defenses. I'm going to need to see a little bit more, so that's why I have Bo Nix at QB5. He had a lot of games that he had a lot of fantasy points versus teams that just weren't very good. You're playing the AFC West, tough division, tough defenses. You got to play the Chiefs. You got to play the Chargers. Broncos defense is really good. They're not the type of defense that gets put into a shootout. So for that, keeping him at 5 right now for redraft, I feel like he's just going way too high. This is where I got him QB5 out of my top 7 for 25 and under quarterbacks. So, but before we get into top 4, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any fantasy content. Got some special stuff coming for the email, guys. So go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. Sign up for the Dudes letter. You won't be sorry. All right, number 4. the polish prince. I got Caleb Williams, guys, threw 20 TDs last year. That's the same amount of TDs that a quarterback who mentored him week 1 in the NFL. Pretty amazing. Looks like the talk might have worked. Most people don't like Caleb Williams' nails. If you like his nails, this is probably the wrong pod for you, but I do like Caleb Williams. He's always marched to the beat of his own drum, and now he's got the perfect coach to release all that creativity, okay? Ben Johnson doesn't just coach quarterbacks, kind of resurrects their careers. What he did with Jared Goff, who was kind of looking like maybe a throwaway QB, maybe, a guy who can only work in McVay's system. Let's think about Goff. The 2 coaches he's played for, Sean McVay, Ben Johnson. I'm curious to see how he does without Ben Johnson. Going to be real interesting here this year, guys. But he still has a lot of weapons. This is a good, solid team that Caleb Williams should be good. Offensive line has gotten better, okay? A lot better. Unique style and confidence combined with Johnson's offensive genius. This could be the perfect storm for a breakout season. The Bears have created a video game type roster of weapons there for him. DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland. I think this is the perfect storm for a breakout season, guys. Might be too low here. QB 12 on underdog, guys. I really think you guys are all hating this. I think I nailed this take, okay? QB 3, CJ Stroud, the mentor, threw 20 TDs last season. The year before, he threw 23. I thought he threw way more than 23 his rookie year. That was back when people were pounding the table for him to get MVP. I gotta be careful pounding the table with this new camera, guys. We're doing Young Guns. Wearing a John Wayne shirt. You can't beat that. And I'm talking about a Houston Texans QB. Texas, John Wayne, Young Guns. Doesn't get better. But here's why there is the year when everything clicks. Same TD total basically as his rookie year. Key differences this year. New offensive line. That offensive line can't get worse. It really can't, guys. Has to be better. Better protection. Big bounce back. Add in Nico Collins, who I still think might be the most underrated receiver in fantasy football right now. I thought he regressed way more than that, if I'm being honest, from his sophomore to his rookie year. So 3 fewer touchdowns, less explosive plays. The whole offense looked different. But here's why year 3 is when everything will click again. Completely revamped offensive line. Can it get worse? I don't think it can. When Stroud has time to throw the ball, he's sharp. 3rd year, better protection, big bounce back coming. Add Nico Collins in, who might be the most underrated wide receiver in fantasy football right now. We've got a recipe for a monster 3rd-year bounce back. History shows us the 3rd-year quarterbacks either break through or break down. I think Stroud breaks through, guys. I think he has a really good year. I think he bounces back. And you got some good rookie wide receivers they draft as well. People are sleeping on him. QB 20 and underdog best ball right now. Probably the most controversial take. But before I get the most controversial take, did a little poll on X at TFF Dudes. Who would you rather have in redraft, Caleb Williams or Bo Nix? Out of 231 votes, 63.6 voted for Bo Nix. But I really think people are looking past, all the garbage, bad opponents he scored a lot of fantasy points on. This is where Jordan turns off the pod. This is where Seth punches air. This is where there's a lot of NFC North QBs on this list. I'm not sure how old Jordan Love is, but he might be borderline that 25-ish age range. J.J. McCarthy, currently QB 18 on Underdog Best Ball. The Kevin O'Connell Project, Kevin O'Connell Merchant, whatever you want to say. Kevin O'Connell isn't just a good coach. He's a QB whisperer. Think of Andy Reid, but with a better hairline and a smaller waistline, okay? That's what Kevin O'Connell is. The weapons in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, might be the most talented receiver corps in the entire league, guys. Last year, Sam Darnold threw 35 touchdowns in O'Connell's offense. Let me say that again. Sam Darnold threw 35 touchdowns in Kevin O'Connell's offense. The weapons in Minnesota are huge. I just think there's so much upside here, guys. I love J.J. McCarthy. A lot of you think I'm crazy. Got him as QB2 in my Young Guns QB ranking. Number 1, obviously, Jaden Daniels, QB3 and underdog. Established dual threat. Now he has a new weapon, Deebo Samuel. Also, a new look in Washington. Hey guys, we got a new look. It's actually our old look that we're calling our new look from the Super Bowl era. I don't know what to say. It's basically the same. It's the old look, but with the worst logo. That's what it is. The W is lame. Bring back the spear or bring back the Redskins logo. Just let's do it. You know, you're acting like you care about history. You got rid of history when you changed the name. Just go back to the name of the Redskins, get the spear on there, whatever. Rant over. We're talking about a quarterback who's already finished as a top 5 fantasy option here in Jaden Daniels. Now he's got one of the most dynamic weapons in the league. Rushing floor keeps him safe, but he's got an improved passing weapon there with Deebo Samuel. But we got to keep Terry McLaurin happy. They got to re-sign Terry McLaurin. He has a real shot at being QB1. I really do think so. If he can stay healthy, if he can keep running the ball, this could be really special here with Jaden Daniels. So there you have it, guys. These are my quarterbacks that I really like. Under 25 redraft fantasy quarterback rankings. And you still have time to get that fantasy football trophy, guys. Head over to trophysmack.com/dudes. 15% off your whole entire order, guys. They have everything. Last place trophies, first place trophies, participation ribbons, a bust of Patrick Mahomes, if you're into that. They got it all. Trophy Smack, sky's the limit. Head over there, guys. Let me know in the comments which young QB you are targeting. And don't forget to subscribe again. And as always, guys, take care. Give me a follow on X at TFF Dudes. Remember, don't be rude. Share the dudes. And let me know what you think. Where am I crazy? Is it JJ McCarthy? Is it CJ Stroud? Too low on Bo Nix? I want to know, guys. Let me know in the comments here on YouTube or at Spotify. All the dudes will be back next week. Just had a little vacation this week. Decided to do something early. Decided to do a solo pod. See you next time. And as always, take care.